let's say you don't blow up the timeline, but let's say you realize that you do need another piece.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Kawakami, and this is where I was talking to, where I was mentioning to Mark, Tim Kawakami on Plus Minus said, Wiseman for GP2.
Straight up.
And on the surface, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
Because we are looking at Wiseman as still a guy, right? As still talent, as still somebody who has value. And Tim was saying, for this team, for the Warriors, they can't look at it that way anymore because they are just in search of players who can help the team right now because of the one timeline that we're talking about. I have another player in mind as well, but interested in who out of Poole, Kuminga, Wiseman, Moody, who would you dangle out there first if you needed to?
I think that Wiseman probably has the lowest trade value out of all four of them right now. So you'd not only be getting, pennies to the dollar, you'd be getting lower than that. I feel like GMs would try to sneak him from you really low. Like I feel like a lot of GMs in the NBA think that they can unlock his potential, but at the same time they're like, look, this kid's awful right now. Like we're not trading you player X who's, been well for us for this guy who's, on a contract year, or is he next year or next year he's eligible for an extension? Like
Wiseman?
Yeah, Wiseman.
They already picked it up. It's $12 million next year.
Okay. So yeah, no, I feel like Wiseman's the obvious candidate, but at the same time, you're not really getting anything good in return, especially looking at his money. If you're not pairing him with Wiggins, or not pairing him with someone who makes the money, because we know the Warriors' salary, that what that's looking like right now. You can't bring in a guy who makes more money than Wiseman, or else you're paying $7 to the dollar. So not only are you selling low on Wiseman, you're bringing back a guy who. And if you're trading Wiseman, you're not trading him for another young player, right? You're not trading Wiseman for Jabari Smith Jr. Like you're trading Wiseman for probably multiple vets on vet minimum contracts. And that's just awful. Like that is just putting in the white flag and saying, we drafted bad. Mm-hmm. And I don't think they do the GP2 one either, because that's like, there's got to be like a pride thing there, right? Like we decided not to pay GP2 because we bet on our young guys to do it. And not only is that not working, now we're giving you our second number 2 pick for a guy we literally just had and had the option to bring back. Like there's too much pride in that for them to ever think of doing that.
Except the way that they could look at it like that is they would say the reason we couldn't sign GP2 was because of Wiseman, right? Like you're like, because of Wiseman's contract, that is what disallowed us to be able to sign GP2. So I was looking up what GP2's contract even was. He signed a 3-year deal for $26 million. So it's 8 this year, 8-7 next year, 9-1 the third year. And
isn't Wiseman making like 10 this year?
So I think Wiseman is at 9, but let's look it up. Wiseman's contract for this year is, come on, Spot Track, what's going on here? I don't know why he just decided to be so slow right now. Yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe the website is down. And I just looked at it for GP2, so funky Spot Track here. Oh no, there we go. So Wiseman is at, this year he is at 9.6. So 9.6, then it'll be 12, and if they pick it up the following year again, then it'll be at 15. So this year Wiseman is not super affordable, but it's not as easy next year, I think, if you want to deal him, and he's sort of the same guy this year. So I get that perspective. Here's a guy that I was wondering, and I don't even know if this necessarily works. Now let me say this first. If the Spurs or the Thunder, I'm trying to think of what are the smart teams, the Jazz, if those teams come sniffing around Wiseman, I'd be like, maybe we should keep him, because those are smart teams.
Yeah.
And if it was, some of these other teams that may not be quite as smart, then that may tell you different. But if
Ainge would swindle us too. He would swindle us.
Yeah, it's like, we got all of the best games out of Lauri Markkanen, and here you can have him.
Yeah.
Okay, so Here's another trade that I thought about, and I was interested in what you thought of. Okay, let's say they have to be giving up on Wiseman at this point, right? It's
Yeah.
like, nope, we need to get rid of him. We need to find a piece that's going to help us win now. What about Malik Monk? GP2 or Malik Monk?
I don't want Malik. I feel like he doesn't fit.
He is small like GP. He's 6'3". They're both 6'3". Obviously, GP is a much better defender.
Malik can't defend.
Malik is so quick.
Yeah.
And in the Warriors offense, playing next to Steph and Clay and Jordan Poole in some instance, he would get so many open shots. And he is a really good shooter. He's only shooting about 38% from three right now, but in that Warriors system,
it's probably like the best 3-point percentage on the Warriors besides Steph right now.
But I feel like he's a guy that you think of as like, oh, he should be upper echelon. Like he should win the 3-point contest kind of shooter. But he's athletic, right? Like he can go to the rim. He can dunk on somebody if need be. The ill fit is defensively, him and Jordan Poole together would be really terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I think they need more of like or you want to finish that?
No. Just
I think that Malik Monk, him being a little, smaller, so you'd put him in that little guard, with DiVincenzo, with Poole, with Moody, with Clay, with Steph. Like that's just too many. Like we're worrying about Moody getting DMPs and not fitting into the rotation because of positional depth, and I think Malik Monk would complicate that. I think you need like a 3 times, 5 times better Anthony Lamb. And you should be able to get that with a Wiseman package. But I mean, you look at Malik Monk's contract. I feel like them trading Wiseman straight up for Malik Monk is the ultimate white flag.
Even worse than GP.
GP at least fits.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. I
agree.
Like Malik's the scorer. Obviously the goal is to score the ball in the basket. But like when it comes to April and May, like Malik becomes a little less valuable in my opinion when you have him and Poole out there, and then it's just like, oh, the defense are like, or the opposing teams are like, oh, sweet, which one should we go at? Doesn't really matter. Let's just have fun.